Alright, let's grab our tendons for our lower leg. First, I want to get rid of that. Nice way to get rid of it, huh? Okay. Alright, so tendons of this guy. Would move elastic work? Kind of cool. Yeah. And where are we going to put those tendons? You know, let's just drag them all the way down, right? We're dealing with comparative anatomy, not... I don't want to get the exact anatomy in there. I'm going to get close, and of course run into trouble. Inflate these guys back, and then move them back into position, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay. Okay. All right, and we're going to move... We're going to move these guys to the outside. You know, it's the same with us. They're on the outside for the most part, not the inside. But let's really take some volume down. They got really enlarged in all the stuff that we've been doing. And really get them in there. Close. Back and forth, back and forth. Okay, about the second head of the bicep femoris, right in the middle. There we go. Okay. Cool. Alright, now this one definitely got all messed up from all the scaling and whatnot that we did. So let's just bring it back to reality a little bit. And you know, that kind of does an enormous amount of the work for us right then and there. Of course, we need to get in with the gastroc, the gastrocnemius needs to connect from the tibia all the way down to the heel bone, of course, and then also going up the epicondyle. So let's look at this from below. The epicondyles of the femur is what I'm talking about. So I'm going to move that in, move it up, and we can hide stuff to make life easier. And we can smooth stuff to make it even easier. I mean, total talk about being lazy, man. Just putting it up in there. Okay. Fine. Let's come in now and get some of these guys. Not the soleus, but this. The fibularis. Where are we going to put the fibularis or extensor digitorum? Where are we going to put all these guys? Well, I'm going to sneak them underneath and kind of to the side here. But let's connect them in with our extensor group that we had there and make this really nice bulk. Okay, and here. Why am I hesitating? Smooth out the top and the bottom, and we'll have a nice rounded form there. Okay, and definitely need to adjust that. Okay, so now we need to get that gastroc to have a little bit more prominence, or at least we have to be able to see it in connection with the bicep femoris, because you can see they're really intersecting each other. So I'm just going to go back and forth with the mask on that. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to take one of those heads of the bicep femoris. Oops. And there we go. Just got to make it a little rounder. And I really want the topology to do that for me. And let's pull the gastrocnemius down quite a bit. Oops. Let's make sure that the skeleton is masked before I do something like that. And then give that bicep femoris a little bit more volume. Okay. Okay, and inflate these guys. All right. And we can consider ourselves largely done here. There. Turn perspective on, and that head is going to just destroy your sense of this thing. It's a big butt. I'm dialing it in. Little trimmer. We're also missing hooves. It's a big factor in this. Time to do the deltoid on all that stuff. Let's do the in fact, let's do just the deltoid. So let's talk about two different points of origin that we're going to work with. The spine is going to be the deltoid. Okay, the border of the scapula is going to be the tricep. So this is just a really good way to remember. The spine of the scapula is what we're going to be using to drag down the deltoid, going basically over the top of the infraspinatus. Okay, and then the tricep actually is going to extend and take over a large part of the other, just of the border of the scapula. So just keep those two places in mind, and then this becomes really quite easy. I have no idea what happened right there. And how do I want to do this? I mean, we have this compound quality here, and you're not going to see that. You know, it's pretty much a straight shot, it's much more like that. So I think that's probably the best way to do that. And then use move, and since my muscle's already dripping down in that direction, just helps to have transpose. There we go. Actually, I like that better. And then I'm going to use move to pull it down. Great. Spine of the scapula. Really push it in. Smooth out that other head, that head that would be basically the clavicular head. Again, we're going to have to make sure that that sits on top of the infraspinatus. Okay. And tricept. Okay, we've got two different heads. We're going to have multiple different heads. The deltoid's got multiple different heads, all of that. So we're going to have to take this. It's going to be a little bit annoying. I think what we'll have to do is isolate these guys and then go through our polygroup process of auto group. And then let's hide that. Group visible. And then it'll be easier to just get these guys. Okay. Alright, let's say move topological. We have symmetry on. And we want that deltoid to be on top. There we go. And the trapezius needs to give it room. Cool. And let's rotate these. So I'm going to go along their axes. I'm going to rotate it that direction, and then rotate it on up. Pretty cool, huh? That'll give us the belly the way we need it. I just need that scapular. We're going to do that all over again. Cool. Move topological will work just fine. But we're going to take one part of our tricept and we're going to attach it to the humerus. And so do you remember the human equivalent to this? I don't like the way that's working. Yeah, let's stretch it out that way. Okay. This is going to be the lateral head in terms of the human, part that's connecting just to the humerus. It's coming along the side and its big beefy body connecting to the side of that humerus. Probably not that beefy, but you get the idea. And then there'll be, another portion, a third head, long head of the tricept, as it would be on us. This is coming to the head of that glenoid cavity, the bottom of the glenoid cavity. This is what our long head of the tricep does. Remember, tricep just means 3 heads, right? And it's spread out quite a bit more. But then we're going to merge that with the medial head. What would be our medial head? And that's going to make that second piece. So spread that out about. Come down from all that extra cartilaginous fiber there. Put a bit of that bulk down there. Okay. Getting there. Let's hide these other pieces that are distracting. Use move topological and really bury that infraspinatus and teres major. Cool. Need to put some hoofs on there so it doesn't look like it's damp prancing around there, but we're getting there.